Hi, my name is Jill Bourne, and I am going to talk about the developments and influences measurement has had upon educational and school psychology. So I started this assignment by just looking back and going back to the golden era, looking at some of those psychologists that played a role within measurement, such as Francis Galton and his studies within eugenics. Those resulted in basically a statistical analysis. Carl Pearson, who they gave the title of being the founder of statistics, he was a colleague of Galton's, and he focused on the relationship between variables and measuring those. James Cattell, he also promoted the usefulness of good data and how it will eventually make itself known over time, as well as Alfred Binet, who we all are familiar with in his searches for measurement of intelligence. Charles Spearman, he did studies which led to factor analysis, and then Joseph Rice, who attempted to organize the Society of Educational Research, which led to support for educational research from different foundations of the time. Domains of measurement in school psychology include conducting research, evaluating individual children, assessing class and school-wide outcomes, as well as determining quality teaching practices. Educational measurement is the science and practice of obtaining information about characteristics of students, such as their knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests. And within educational psychology, it's a specialty within the broader discipline of psychometrics. So we're looking at processes and mental capacity. According to an article I read on measurement and education in the United States, goals for measurement and educational psychology included arriving at conclusions regarding best practices for meeting the needs of your students, documenting student ability, achievement, or interests, gauging student progress toward educational goals, and improving teaching and learning. Now I'm going to move towards some big contributions within measurement in the field of psychology by looking at Thorndike and Cronbach. Edward Thorndike said that precise measurement is the key to educational improvement. Edward Thorndike's contributions included standardized testing and measurement scales, the intelligence examination, and CAVT test of intelligence to assist in the application process for college admissions, and mixed ability measures within those assessments. Cronbach's legacy includes a focus on empirical evidence, methodological and analytical tools, arguments, and recommendations that are shifting thought processes away from a rationalist view of relationships to that of a context involving multiple meanings and interpretations, as well as an interconnectedness between assessment and multiple influences. He looked at conditions affecting performance, the generalizability theory. His research sharpened sensitivity of educational research and context being essential in that research. He had the interactionist approach where instruction matched the learner, and his focus and studies on validity also left an impression on measurement in the field of psychology. So an area that I focused on would be personality psychology and school psychology and measurement. And we all love taking personality tests, especially on social media outlets that they are available on now. It's almost comical if you look at some of the quizzes available, such as which type of Disney princess are you, for instance. And we spend time taking these because we have an interest in those interpersonal processes. So I feel like educational psychologists can also look at the manner in which knowledge is processed through the study of motivation, self-esteem, and those things are, to me, are all interrelated, with anxiety included. and can help provide information to school psychologists and assisting students. Regardless of which type of test or measure you're using, test has to be reliable and valid, and a test has good reliability when it measures consistently over time. With students, especially the age group I have worked with for the last 10 years, they're 5 and 6 years old. There's several implications that can affect test measures, such as just their mood for that day or their concentration abilities, their motivation, questioning. Sometimes for a 5 and 6-year-old, the type of questions that are being asked of them are too vague or too specific. Inconsistent scoring procedures and impatient observations. I had a student that was instructed to receive a full psych eval, and that specific school psychologist came in and watched him for 2 hours. She had 6 weeks to do observations on him, and she came 2 different days and watched him for 1 hour at a time. That student knew that she was there to observe him, and to me, that whole measure that she took was invalid. There was no accuracy to the 2 hour observation she made for a full psychological evaluation. So therefore, it was not reliable. As far as validity goes, it's going to relate to how well a test measures what it's supposed to measure. And in her case, it did not measure at all what it was supposed to measure. So we have to look at those different areas of validity as well. So within all areas of educational psychology, there's controversy and challenges. Every child is different. Every child responds differently to testing procedures and administrators and environments. Quantifying abstract concepts can be a challenge. Just the availability of personnel or practitioners, availability of the tools used to measure data, whether it's inaccurate or there's error within that data. There's known discrepancies involved, unfamiliarity with different testing measures and methods, or weak measurement strategies, using questionable assessments, or just having the inaccessibility of information, as well as observers' limitations and biases. Those are all factors to consider when thinking of challenges involving measures within school psychology or educational psychology. So, to assist in those challenges, the American Psychological Association developed some testing standards, which are a product of the American Educational Research Association and the National Council on Measurement and Education, and those testing standards guide program evaluation and promote validity, reliability, and fairness. I tried to make this video a bit shorter than the last video. I hope you all are doing well and have a great evening.